in my lifetime, I have financed quite a few cars, and I wanted to go ahead and give some of you guys some tips who may be looking to finance a car, like maybe this Camaro Zl1, or maybe another car around this price range, like maybe a Hellcat or something else, So first tip I have, okay, and these tips, they're specifically focused around increasing your approval chances, right? Because if you guys are financing a car, you want to get approved, right? So I'm also going to try not to speak on the most obvious things, which is like, have good credit. I mean, usually everybody should know that. So these tips I'm about to give you, I have about 5 of them, and hopefully it helps. So the first tip I have, guys, on financing an expensive car like this is to go to the dealership near the opening time, or avoid at least 4 hours before closing. Now, the reason I say that, guys, is because when you go to a dealership, all right, especially ones that are, you can negotiate, right? These dealerships, I had to beat that light, you know me, man. But these dealerships, right, it takes time. The process takes time to finance a car, guys, and you're not just gonna go in there and be out in an hour unless you just pay in cash, right? So if you go early, first off, everybody's going to be more relaxed, right? And that includes you, that includes the people at the dealership. They come in fresh, and nobody should be rushing. Now, there are times where I've gone to a dealership late. For example, actually with this Camaro Zl1, we went a little bit later in the evening, and I felt like I kind of rushed some things in signing, because by the time we were done, it was closing time, and everything, I felt kind of rushed. Is that the people were not rushing me, the people at the dealership were not rushing me, but it was closing time. I was tired. The dealership is empty, everybody else gone home. So it's just not really the best feeling for when it comes to signing a lot of important documents and making commitments. So go early, so you have a lot of time, you can relax and take your time and make a decision. The second tip I have, guys, is get a co-signer. Now, this tip is more for people who may not have a perfect credit score, or their credit score might be less than good. So having a co-signer, guys, that greatly increases your chances of getting approval, even for high loans. Another thing I've learned, guys, is even if both co-signers may not have a perfect credit score, you can still get approved, all right? Because one of the things they look at is combined income. So definitely consider a co-signer, guys, for increasing your chances of approval. And of course, this is assuming your credit score may not be, that great by itself. Now, the third tip, guys, that I have is to have steady income, okay? So steady income is a big part of this, guys, next to credit score. You gotta have steady income, and also income that you can prove, right? So a lot of times the bank will ask you for this on the spot before finalizing the loan. They want to see maybe your pay stubs from your job to prove that you're making this money that you say you are. And another thing, guys, is that if you've had like at least 1 to 2 years of whatever method that you're making the income, that's best. I recommend 2, but 1 can work too. But the more or the longer you've been at a job or doing whatever you're doing to make the income, the better. It just shows that more stability for the banks. The fourth tip I have, guys, is to read everything, right? I'm talking about when you're signing these papers, right? Read everything. And the reason I say that is because the documents you're signing, it could have a lot of optional packages that you may not need. A lot of them can be very beneficial, but a lot of times the cars that you could be getting, it could be a newer car, and it could just have a lot of the manufacturer's warranty on it. So a lot of cars, guys, they have bumper to bumper warranties from the manufacturer that covers almost everything in the car. And if you have a lot of time on it left, like let's say you have 4 years and maybe 80,000 miles left, you may want to consider maybe you don't need it. But you know, if it's maybe near the end of the manufacturer's warranty, you know, you might want to consider signing some of these optional packages that they're offering you. But take your time and read it, know the manufacturer's warranty, compare it to what they're giving you, and you know, don't be afraid to ask about whatever you're signing. And the last tip, guys, which is the 5th tip, always get GAP. All right, so some people may disagree with this, but in my experience, GAP insurance is great, man. And for those of you who don't know how GAP works, let's say you finance a car, right, $80,000 car, and you know, you get into an accident and it's a total loss. You don't want to be in a situation where, okay, it's total and then maybe the car was worth $50,000, right? So now you owe, I'm sorry, if the insurance company pays you $50,000 because they say, well, that's how much your car is worth, and let's say maybe you had the full $80,000 left on the loan, right? You are responsible for $30,000, and you are going to be paying that for a car you no longer have. So GAP insurance, it kind of just drops everything, right? So, you know, total loss, whatever is left, it just goes away, right? So I definitely recommend GAP insurance. Depends on your situation, you may not need it, but most of the times I've seen GAP just, you know, being like a no-brainer to get. It's very useful. I never had a chance to use GAP myself though, guys. When my Camaro SS was totaled, you know, fortunately I got more money than what the car was worth. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get more money than what the car was worth. I got more money than what I owed on the car, right? So luckily, you know, everything is paid off with the loan on the car, right? So in that case, I didn't have to use the GAP, and fortunately that's good, because my GAP insurance, I actually refinanced my Camaro SS and the GAP did not transfer. I didn't even know that, but you know, thankfully I didn't need it, right? So that's my 5 tips for financing a expensive car, guys, whether it's a Camaro Zl1, Hellcat, or any other car in this price range or class. Before I end this video, let me see if I can do a full, probably not, but it's like no yeah, there's no room to really do much right now. But yeah, man, that is going to be the end of this. I can't even talk. That is going to be the end of this video, guys. If you guys have any questions or you appreciated these tips, you know, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.